Welcome back. President Cyril Ramaphosa has opened day 2 of the special edition Sustainable Infrastructure Development Symposium. The summit focuses exclusively on green hydrogen. South Africa is one of the founding members of the Africa Green Hydrogen Alliance, which seeks to promote continental clean energy cooperation. Well, our senior reporter Ayesha Ismail joins us now for an update on that and what the president had to say at that summit. Ayesha, first things first, what did the president have to say about green hydrogen? And I suppose we say green and emphasize on that qualifier because that perhaps sets it apart from ordinary hydrogen and also locates it within the context of, cleaner sources of energy.
That is indeed so, Atula Sizwe. For a long time, we're speaking about alternative energy. And today at the summit, I must say that I've not seen President Cyril Ramaphosa so positive about job creation, about investment. He spoke passionately about this. We also saw more than 700 delegates participating in the summit here at the Century City Convention Center. But let's listen to what the president had to say about this.
This presents a very unique opportunity for South Africa, and may I add for our continent as well, to link its mineral endowment with its renewable energy endowment to drive industrialization. And as we often say, this is Africa's century. And indeed, these wonderful opportunities are opening up not only for South Africa, for Namibia, and for a number of other countries on our continent. At the same time, this will create jobs, attract investment, bring development to rural provinces and a number of other countries on our continent, and support a just transition from fossil fuels. This summit is therefore an opportunity to tell the South African story in this rapidly growing sector. South Africa is not new to the green hydrogen conversation.
Ayesha, who is in attendance at that summit, and are we able to glean anything from that in terms of the likelihood of deals being struck, shaking on it and signing off on some deals that could potentially start to make a difference in terms of our energy mix?
Well, to us, besides the South African companies that are present here today, there are also a lot of international companies. And I've seen people gathering in groups, and you're talking about shaking hands. I've actually physically seen them doing that. But I'm also now joined by a South African company here called EPCM, an engineering company, who's going to talk to us about exactly what green hydrogen is all about and what we can use green hydrogen for. Now, Sumi, we heard from the president earlier this morning talking, as I said, passionately about green hydrogen, and he talked about how we can tell this truly South African story. From your point of view, how can South Africans benefit from green hydrogen, and what exactly is green hydrogen?
Green hydrogen it's water that's split using green energy, either your wind power or your solar to create this. But the significant importance is that hydrogen itself has a high energy power in it or composition, and therefore that's what makes it lucrative. But it's also used for a number of chemical processes, and I think this is where South Africans start to benefit, where we use it for cooling, we use it for a variety of green fuels, potentially a 0 ppm fuel, and it's also a fertilizer. So ammonia is actually a step away from urea, which is a significant fertilizer for South Africa.
Now, I'm sure a lot of South Africans watching this program are probably saying, but what about petrol? What about electricity? Will we be able to use green hydrogen for petrol, electricity, and also for aviation fuel?
Yes, that is very correct. We are now in a position, if we continue down this line, to actually produce our own fuel on our footprint and really start to do away with purchasing fuel that is dollar-based. And the important bit is that, for example, ammonia is can be an augmentation for diesel, and also it's a cheapest way to carry hydrogen across the continent. So we can also trade the hydrogen, because on its own it's actually very difficult to. But now you're trading a commodity that is also a fuel base. So in the Second World War, ammonia was used as a fuel base for the tanks. So that's an interesting value proposition.
Now, you work very closely with science and innovation and also with Hydrogen South Africa. The one thing that I also heard earlier this morning during the launch of the second day of the summit was about education and training and also upskilling. And when we're talking about job creation, we're also talking about empowering the youth. How can we do that?
I think the global aspiration to use hydrogen is going to need hydrogen practitioners. And I think the ability or the component of dealing in hydrogen or working with hydrogen is really in our hands. We have a vibrant youth that is interested in this space, and we should actually give them that training opportunity to the point that we're actually at the process of writing manuals on how to manage and handle hydrogen as part of the strategy. I think the Sasol example is perfect, where the workmen were designed to do welding. We are the best welders in the world, and we think we should be the best ammonia and hydrogen handlers in the world, because we have the aspiration, we have the commodity. Let's just make it and use it.
And of course, earlier we heard from Premier Alan Winde, the Premier of the Western Cape, talking about this memorandum of understanding that he signed with the Premier of the Northern Cape.
Yes, and this partnership is really it has to extend, because realistically speaking, the green energy from a solar perspective is in the Northern Cape. And we should spread this energy across the two. And I think even the agreement that was made yesterday with the KfW and to actually fund project development from scratch will become a huge catalyst. And I think we should exploit this opportunity in its fullest if we are to curb our employment situation. And I think cannot wait to see it happen.
Thank you so much for your time. And Tulas, that was Tumi Homo from EPCM talking about green hydrogen. And as I said earlier, I haven't seen the president so enthusiastic and confident about curbing unemployment and also addressing South Africa's energy crisis.